Want to keep up with the latest Camodo gaming videos? Be sure to subscribe and click that bell. Hello YouTube, Camodo Gaming here, bringing you guys another episode of Tiny Town VR, and yes folks, we are back once again, and today it is finally happening. We are finally going to be doing the Tiny Town tour, because there's a lot of things that we've been building over the past probably close to a year, and I'm getting a lot of requests of things that have already been done in Tiny Town. So what we're going to do here today, it's not going to be just a tour. I'm going to go in, I might correct some things. I'm thinking of our next disaster, which I'm thinking it's going to be like a super volcano. I had some pretty cool ideas in my head, so we might actually even start on that, but I do feel like we need to go on a tour. So, we're going to start our tour over here on this island. We'll sweep through the more recent episodes, like say the past 5 or so episodes. We're going to just breeze through those real quick. That way we don't spend too much time, because you guys have probably seen most of that. But I'm pretty sure a lot of my audience hasn't seen various parts of the city. And also, folks, we're going to address this bridge here today. That was like one of the top comments on my last video was, Camodo, the bridge, it leads to nowheres. Well, it's going to continue to lead to nowhere because it's probably just going to be broken, because if you look at the way it goes out, it goes right into a sub. Now, that's not to say that there's not going to be something on the other side of this. Maybe we'll have another landmass or island where the bridge would have led to. So, anyways, if you guys have any suggestions for future builds in Tiny Town, comment below. And if you guys are enjoying Tiny Town on the channel, maybe hit that thumbs up button. It helps out my channel. And let's do this. Alright, so we're gonna start here. This was the D-Day episode of Tiny Town. I think it was like 2 or 3 episodes. We had a very awesome beach landing here, which this is probably one of my top 5 favorite builds. I know a lot of you guys really liked this thing. It was real cool to build. It took, one episode was the beach, and I think right here, the second episode was the camp, and I think the third episode was this area back here, which was like some sort of secret base that led into that mountain. So, let's go ahead and do a little quick run through real quick. You can see the troops approaching on the beach. A lot of them are going down. Pretty crazy scene here. This is probably the most people that I've used in Tiny Town. And then we had the opposing force, which was the blue soldiers here. I don't think they actually had a name. So they're defending the beach. They're trying to get some reinforcements here in the camp. They're running up through, trying to... Actually, I don't know why there's bodies. Oh, I do know why there's bodies over here. If I'm not mistaken, there's a secret force that's actually, we'll call these special ops. They're coming up from the backside of the island, trying to invade this area. You can see they've actually come in and actually started to attack. And they're all trying to get to the secret bunker, which I'm pretty sure houses something evil. I don't know what we even said it houses. I think maybe either a nuke, or it could be some of the secrets to why Tiny Town is so screwed up. So we got that going. You got some air support out here. Very, very cool scene. So from there, we're going to move over to... I don't know why there's random ships out here. I think I just placed those during one of the episodes. I'm not really sure which one. But we're going to move over here to our prison break episode. Now, I do believe this was just one episode, but this was another really cool build. Using mostly custom workshop items. You can see Grandma beating up a cop. Pretty sure she's breaking somebody out of prison, or she was in prison and she's breaking out. She's doing one or the other. But yeah, you can see there's a little prison riot going on here. We got like a big standoff in here. You got tons of prisoners. They're actually fighting with the riot cops here, trying to escape, and you've got some that made it out the back here. Now, in true Tiny Town fashion, the people are running away. They're using a banana rope to scale the wall to escape into the water. And then over here you have some criminals that are loading them up in the boat, and they're going to take them out of here. So that was the prison break, kind of give you guys a big view of the island here. So that takes us over to, we're going to kind of just scale up and down the map, and I'm not going to do it in order of the episodes. This is a more recent episode though. This was our Godzilla Attack. So you can see Godzilla coming out of the water, actually tipping over one of the ships here. Probably won't spend too much time on this one. You can see the helicopters rushing in to attack here. You got like a military force driving through. This whole harbor / dock looks amazing. You got Mecha Godzilla, which is coming up from the back. Which Mecha Godzilla over here, another workshop item. It actually came from this military base over here. It was actually on this platform. It broke out, and you could see where it marched through the base in order to get to where it is to attack Godzilla. So, a very, very fun episode there. Alright, let's move forward. Alright, so we're getting into a little bit older episodes here. I've been getting a lot of people requesting that I do more monsters, more big creatures, and I think one of the first ones that I built that was a custom one was Bob from Brick Rigs. So you can see he's running through, smashing some buildings. He actually walked up from the water, kind of like Godzilla does. You can see the beach over here. And another episode that I had was Dob, and he's actually, I don't know why they're enemies in this world, but Dob's coming over, and Dob looks a little weird, I'll admit, because we didn't have the right color for him, and we kind of make him like, we made him like Mecha Dob, so he's got a big minigun, missiles, got like a big hammer. I think he actually looks really cool. And then over here, you can see the forces are trying to fight back, and look at the scaling of that. That is cool. So yeah, you can see him fighting. The hippie over here is really happy for some reason. Not really sure why. So yeah, he's charging through the buildings. I actually have a pretty decent destruction path for him. I think we said he dropped from the sky, so you can see where he landed in this area and started to march forward. Alright, so let's move over to the next area. This is going to be the airplane disaster. So we built an airport here in Tiny Town, which, by the way, even if it's not a disaster, if you notice something that we're missing in Tiny Town, like some sort of area, building, let me know down in the comment section below. But yeah, this is our airport. You know, it actually looks like everything's so calm here. Like, people are just going about their day, you know, trying to get their stuff ready to go, and all the chaos is happening around them. So yeah, we come over here. You can see all the areas where the jets are parked, helicopters, but this is where the actual disaster was. And I think we said it had something to do with the air traffic control people over here. They're all eating donuts, and it has caused some sort of massive, that's Mega Godzilla, or Mecha. He's right there. But yeah, that's caused some sort of massive disaster with the planes. They're running into each other. This guy's ejecting here. I think we had a name for the pilot over here. He's all dejected because he crashed his plane. People are running from the scene. Pretty cool. Have a little Cessna over here where it's going down. Yeah, I like this area. Alright, so we already went over the Army base. We'll go over the NASA Center here in a second. Let's start cutting back through town. Alright, so the next disaster, and this is a really highly requested one. I'm like, I've done this. We actually have a full train yard here. So you can see we have a massive derailment incident going on here. So, you had a train that was coming through, out of control. You can see some of the oil carts are exploding. This thing was heading towards the station/rail yard here. So let's go ahead and spin this around. So yeah, you can see where it was coming in, crashing through. There's still people kind of walking around. Of course, here's your oblivious grandma right here. Now, I would say, hey, count the oblivious grandmas, but there's too many to count here. You would think that it went along with how many episodes of Tiny Town we have. But actually, we skipped her in a couple of the episodes, so I don't know what the true count of Oblivious Grandma is. But yeah, you can back up through here. You can see more of the train yard. I actually did like a little section where cargo would be, and then we have like a parking lot. I believe the gas station came with this section, and then this little neighborhood up here that actually leads out to the farm. So, we're ready for the next section. Alright, so the next section we're going to cover, we're actually going to jump into our original zombie apocalypse. Now, I think it was like 7 months ago, they came out with a zombie pack, and it was the greatest thing to happen to Tiny Town. So, we'll start out here. This is where the outbreak, or they were breaking out of the wall to invade the city. So you can see all the zombies marching through. We have this clown that's chopping into this zombie here. But yeah, they're coming through, they're eating people. It's a pretty brutal scene, I must say. But we come back into here, and this was our original zombie apocalypse area, and I must say this is probably one of our most, I would say, detailed areas as far as the little things. I really like this, so we can kind of swoop through here. Oblivious Grandma is apparently with the Raiders here. She's on top with the minigun, kind of sweeping through with this convoy. Alright, so we do have a base back here. This is like a little zombie raider base. You can see a lot of random zombies just walking around the streets. This neighborhood street actually looks really cool, I think. Yeah, it's a little details. You know, I think I should probably put this, for the people who do have the game, I really want to put this up for download. That way you guys can come in here and actually see all the little details. This is like a little, I think we won't call this the bandits. I think these were like civilians. They have like a little hideout here. You can see their area. It's all fenced off. This was the first episode of the zombie apocalypse here, was this street. This is where we started the gate, where the military was coming through, and they're trying to clear everything out. But as you can see, the hospital, everything's overrun here. Zombies coming up the street. We got bandits up in the hospital itself. I think there was a special ops mission happening here. Yeah, because you see this team running through. They just got dropped from the Huey. But unfortunately, I think the general was already going off the building here and going to fall down. So that's that section. We had another camp here. This was an overrun one. You can see where zombies have been through. And then we kind of go out to this section, which I think this was one of our origin stories for where the zombies came from, was this plant area here. And you can see the zombies coming out. There's a bandit over there, some bandits up here on the top. Yeah, very, very cool section, I must say. And then over here, I think this is just random debris. You have like a little plane crash and stuff like that. So, go ahead and zoom out and give you guys a big view of the zombie section. That's kind of where it is in the town. Alright, let's move on to the next thing. Alright, so another thing I get requested a lot. A lot of people want to see a police chase / bank robbery. Well, folks, we have done that. So, I can zoom in here. They were disguised as construction workers, and you can see that they're loading up the money. They're coming through. This is before Tiny Town had guns, by the way. The guns that you see in this area are workshop items. The guns didn't come around to the actual game until the military packs and the zombie packs. So this is a pretty old area here. But yeah, you can see the police shootout happening here. Oblivious Grandma's trying to work the ATM over here. She has no clue what's even happening. You got like police snipers up here. All the construction workers are a little confused because they see the other ones robbing the bank. So we had that. Let's go ahead and turn here. This is the massive police chase that's going on. You can see the money spilling in the air. You got the bandits hanging out, firing at the cops. Pretty cool area. I like how everybody's reacting to this. Everybody's like, what the heck is going on here? So yeah, that was the police chase, and we'll back out here. And we'll back out to probably what was, I want to say maybe the 3rd or 4th episode of Tiny Town. And that is our tornado here, our original tornado. Not the super tornado we did just like a couple weeks ago. Alright, so this was a custom tornado that I built. Which really, when I say custom tornado, if I'm not mistaken, it's really this cone piece right here. So that there is actually that. So yeah, this is the original tornado. You could see how it's sucking up stuff. This one was actually running through downtown here. You can see the debris filled, cars being thrown into buildings. You can tell this is a pretty early episode, to be honest, because there's not nearly as much detail in the city streets down here. Now, the tornado itself, it doesn't look bad. I'm not biggest fan of it because I tried to use some of the spheres to give it some sort of shape instead of just like an ice cream cone. And yeah, it turned out okay, I would say. There's a lot of stuff in the tornado, I will say that. There's a lot of people, you got debris, people were flying through the air. Pretty bad looking little area here. So yeah, like I was saying, there's not as much detail, but you can see where I built some areas of the city that don't really have disasters going on. Alright, so I think we're actually going to cover Granny next. She was an episode, this was my Granny character from the horror game, of course, Granny. Big mutant Granny come running through. She looks absolutely hideous, I must say. It's bad, like all these spheres. She's got some jagged teeth. Now, what many people do not know, and I've had a request, somebody was like, hey, you need to build a huge grandma to attack the city. This is actually the grandma character. I stuck some bigger cube pieces here to make it look like a dress, but if you kind of look through here, you can kind of see the grandma face inside of it. So yeah, this is a granny. She's running through, she's toppling buildings. She's actually hitting the Empire State Building there, which is pretty cool. So we'll come back here. Now this is another major request. I want to say this was episode, maybe 2 or 3. What is happening here? This is the sinkhole. Now I know I can make this look a whole lot better than it does here. Especially how I've done some of the other, like, underground areas, like the spider pit over here. But yeah, this was a sinkhole episode. And you can see people falling into the sinkhole. Cars are going there. People are running around. You actually have a big robot Baldy, which is coming through, which I don't think we really explained where he came from. But yeah, you got Baldy up here running through, running over the sinkhole. Pretty devastated looking area. And this actually comes to our first episode of Tiny Town, because this was, I think, the sinking ship disaster. This was a cargo ship that was going over. I think the thumbnail for this episode was like right here, and then this was the guy that was flying in the image of the thumbnail. So yeah, this was my first experiment with the sinking ship. You can see the police over here. getting ready to take care of that. And then I think I actually built this this boardwalk here during this episode. And surprisingly, there's nothing bad happening on this boardwalk. Like, it's all pretty calm, except for the whole fact there's a tsunami on the way, but that was a different episode. So yeah, here's another Camodo burger, and this guy's eating this mega burger. You know, kind of weird. It's been a while since I've looked down at this area. So, this is going to lead us to our tsunami. Now, one episode I did forget, this was the return of Tiny Town here. These two nuclear subs that were going to take the Tiny Town area out. I took a break from Tiny Town, which I think was about a month or two, and then I brought it back with this episode here. So there's your Statue of Liberty. Now, this is a pretty early episode, too. This is the tsunami, which this is, like, awesome looking. I actually think I did a decent job here. But yeah, tsunami's coming through, crashing into the boats. Some boats are trying to get away. I really like where it's hitting the city here. And this is going to be, like, the end of this side of the map, too, because everything beyond this is ocean. I got Oblivious Grandma. She looks like she's taking a selfie here. Is that a selfie? Oh yeah, she's taking a selfie with like an old style camera. Hopefully she doesn't have the flash on. But yeah, that's this area where the tsunami's coming through. And this kind of leads us, where do we want to go next? This is leading us into some of the later areas. We'll go over this last since you guys have recently seen that. So, next areas are, we have the nuke explosion area. And that's gonna, actually, you know what? I missed it, folks. The NASA area. This is actually pretty old. So, this was the NASA disaster area. So, you've got a full NASA, I think we actually called it something else for the Tiny Town people. They're watching the little shuttle launch here, so that's why the grandstands are over here. That shuttle, I guess, is about to take off. Had a full-blown, pretty cool little area here. It's actually right by the zombie apocalypse. Actually, this is the Mad Max area. Zombie apocalypse area is over there. So, yeah, you can see the NASA. This was also with this episode. Hold on, let me go ahead and scoot over here. This is where the meteorites were going through the space shuttle. Now, I do think this was two different episodes, because the meteorites were also tied into the farm areas back there. But yeah, you can see the space shuttle disaster happening. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, that thing's actually coming down to crash into the whole area down here. Alright, so we're going to move on to the next area. This is the Mad Max area. We're not going to cover this much because this was actually a fairly recent episode. There's the Kraken coming through. You have the Mad Max convoy. And this was like another zombie area. You actually have a zombie arena back here, which I think looks really, really cool. So there was that. This leads over to the farm areas. Now this tied into the NASA disaster. These meteorites came down and they were crashing into the earth, and it was actually driving people insane. So that's why you see the farmer attacking the cop here. You see the huge bull. It's like mutated. You can see some more of the meteorite crashes going on here. There's a train over there. Actually, that train's leading to the super tornado area, which that's a really, really recent episode. But yeah, you can see people attacking each other. A mutated Oblivious Grandma here is charging through this farm. Over here, here's another farm area. You can see people are running away. People are going insane. I think over here we have cops that are fighting each other because of the meteorite, whatever the disease or poison is. This one's coming off the top rope, gonna kind of slam the other cop down. It's a really silly looking area. So yeah, that is the farm area. We're not going to cover the most recent areas, which, by the way, if you missed the last episode, there's the mudslide, and there's the super tornado, which are really recent. Also, over in this area is the NASCAR track. This was actually a really, really fun build. Did relatively good. I don't know why that's up in the air like that. Actually, I think I was taking a screenshot and it was blocking something. There we go. So there's the NASCAR area. Now, this is the airship area, which is also fairly recent. We have like a little launch thing going on here, and we have a disaster because one's falling out of the sky. Now, this was leading to an area I was just talking about, and that was the nuke disaster. So this was a train derailment, and there was a nuke on one of the trains, and it actually went off here in Tiny Town. I don't know why this is in the air. I'm going to get rid of that. So, next area. This is our Tower Survival Game Show area. Pretty old episode here. This is kind of like a fire rescue. Actually, I think the cops were showing up and the fire department was showing up because they didn't know what was going on. But what this is a game show. There's a fire department and they're putting the clown out that's on fire. So yeah, this is a game show. It's like one of those obstacle course game shows where you would run through the course down here. There's bulls charging through. And I think you had to make it all the way over here. People were attacking each other under this. And then you have to go up in the tower. I think you get out of the top of the tower, which you see people, they're broadcasting this, probably on pay-per-view. And your objective was to get down from the tower, land on the finishing area here, and try to, I guess, get out and win. Here's your... Oh yeah, I forgot, Oblivious Grandma was winning this. So that leads us to fairly recent builds. You have the Formula 1 track. This one's actually kind of old. You got Formula 1 cars going through here. You have a huge crash happening because of banana pills, apparently. I don't know why. I actually kind of like the layout of this track. So let me look at it from an aerial view. You come down from the front stretch, take a right, there's a pit lane. You kind of come through here. You got like a chicane. You can see stands all over the place. Formula 1 cars. Oblivious Grandma is having a police chase here with her Formula 1 car for some reason. I don't know. She's running for something. And then this leads to the next area. This was the Monster Jam show. I actually really like this one too. It's like not just Monster Jam. There's a ton of things going on. There's like a dirt track sprint car race going on the oval. A demolition derby. Monster Jam's going on. Pretty insane looking area. Pretty detailed too. Have like a little hospitality area over here. Oh yeah, there was a little stunt show happening. Cars coming down. Got a guy on a, looks like Evel Knievel over here on the motorbike. Very, very cool. And then that kind of leads us over. Let me make sure we've covered everything. I'm looking at my areas. Believe we have. That leads us to the modern area, the newest things. Alright, so this is the recent areas. You have the spider zombie apocalypse going on. All the spiders shooting around. Not going to go into too much detail here because I do encourage you guys to go check out some of these later episodes. These are some of my most detailed work. You had the Purge area over here with the riot. You have the creatures attacking. There's my custom junk robot. The black hole. All the UFOs coming up. Very, very awesome area. So, and also the mothership, which still looks a little bit wonky, but we're going to deal with it. So, let's go ahead and back up here. There's your view. That is Tiny Town. That is what we have created over the past 8, 7, 9, I don't know how many months we've been doing this. I need to go look at the first episode, but yeah, very, very happy with the progress that we've made so far. Now, what we're going to be doing next disaster, which I am going to still look at the comment section for new disaster ideas. I kind of want to do a super volcano, and I'm going to do it with a mixture of the custom parts, and then please tell me, oh yeah, we got like a red here. So I think I'll make like a custom mountain area. I don't know where to put it. I'm thinking about back there. Or maybe back behind the NASCAR track, even though there's nothing really there. But I want to make one of those where it's kind of comes up out of the ground, kind of like the old Sim City games, and it's going to be spewing lava everywhere. It's probably devouring a part of the town. Now, one more thing. I need to actually address this. So this is the bridge that everybody's been talking about. Now, I think I tried to complete this once, and what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to use this piece. The bridge piece itself, the one that you're seeing, you cannot slant that, even without snapping. Like, it will not turn or anything. So, I'm going to have to make it look like it's broken up off this area here. So, we're going to complete this finally. This is one of those comments that I've been kind of ignoring a little bit, but no more. So, we're going to have this broken section of bridge right here. It's going to be going off into the water. And like I said, it was connecting to something, but I don't really know what that something is. We're probably going to add some cars falling off this. Actually, I want to say it's probably been collapsed for a while now. So we'll probably just have some cars that kind of got stuck on their way down from the collapse. So you can see them kind of hanging around in the water here. Oh, I just deleted it. Really? There we go. No. Tiny Town and their grabbing mechanic's still weird to me. So there you go. You got that going down there. Would people be trying to escape here? I guess not. I think people would probably realize this is not the way to escape Tiny Town. This bridge is simply just an area that's been destroyed. So it kind of looks complete. I know it looks a little weird because it's got this big bottom area on it, but there's not really much I can do about that. These pieces, these bridge pieces are really limited. But it finally looks like it's going somewhere. Where it's going, I don't know. I mean, we could have made a tunnel and said that it just went underground and out, but I still think that we could potentially, maybe our volcano disaster will be over here. I never thought about expanding out this way. Maybe the bridge came over here, and there's a small island with a small town, but a big volcano on it. That's an idea, folks. That's something we might be doing. But anyways, I think it's going to wrap it up for this episode of Tiny Town. We just really needed to get this out of the way. Hopefully you guys tuned in, watched the whole thing. That way you guys could tune in and see everything that we've done so far. And maybe we'll come up with some new disaster ideas. But I think the volcano's next. Thank you guys for all the love and support. And we'll see you guys next time in Tiny Town.